Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I want to talk to you about Call of Duty Mobile because COD Mobile is actually really good and fun to play. Even, for a mobile game, which I generally kind of hate mobile games. This above me is my Call of Duty Mobile gameplay. For once I didn't beg somebody for it. I actually went through and installed it the hard way because right now it's available as a beta only in India. So I had to get a special OBB version of the game from some totally legitimate site, then install with a VPN and play on the VPN on the Bangalore server at 120 milliseconds ping, not including whatever my VPN does. And I'm playing on an unreleased phone with questionable support, with no HDMI support, just why the capping's a little funny, VPN, game overlay, and all sorts of other crazy. I'd put a lot of work into actually getting to access this game. So trust me, it looks much better on the phone than it does here on YouTube. And when I turn all that other stuff off, I can run the game on max settings. I just can't run it that high with all the capturing things going on. But let's get back to the topic at hand. I was surprised at how good Call of Duty Mobile looked overall. Now you'll see this and you'll compare it to obviously games that are already out and released and next gen PS4, Xbox One kind of games. And yeah, it's not going to be that. Graphics for Call of Duty Mobile seem to be on par with or slightly worse than Xbox 360 era COD games, and it'll vary a little bit by phone. Obviously if you turn the settings way down it won't be so nice. There are some as playing on console or especially not on a PC. It does have flaws. It is not perfect. There are some things that I think could be done better, but shooters on mobile games are just challenging in general. And this one was the simplest for me to pick up, which I think is an impressive thing. I am playing on the Red Magic 3 with the touch bumpers, so that helps a lot too. And the game offers two different firing modes. One that's mostly hip fire, and it's kind of a little bit more auto-aim heavy, and you just kind of move your crosshairs over people and just kind of hip fire them into the ground. I didn't like that one. And there's a different one where you hit and hold the fire button, and it kind of auto-aims down sights, and as soon as you ADS, then you start shooting. But the downside to this mode is that you can't hip fire. When you have the auto ADS mode, you can't hip fire, and I chose the auto ADS mode because I don't hip fire too much, and I definitely am not going to hip fire people at super long ranges, and it takes a bit of getting used to, and it's not perfect, and it is only a problem in CQB situations. However, you can set this gun by gun. You can set assault rifles to ADS and SMGs to hip fire only and shotguns to hip fire and LMGs to ADS, etc., etc. So there's a lot of customization options. We're going to talk about those in a little bit. Quite a few I haven't even really gotten into, so maybe I can do it better. But yes, with the method that I'm using, close quarters combat can get a little bit wonky, but thankfully the one-hit kill knife is back, so when I get close to these people, I can just stick them. Speaking of stick, the sticky aim is pretty strong overall, but it's not so strong that you can't miss, especially with some of the higher recoil weapons like the Modern Warfare 1 AK. That one kicks a lot. And the aim assist or auto aim does seem to be stronger on snipers in this game than anything else. Sniper rifles are much harder to use on a mobile game than they are anywhere else. And the way they work is that you will hit a button and you hold it down, or you press on the screen, and it'll just automatically zoom in, and when you release from the screen or the button, in theory, you can do them quickly. You're watching all gameplay from my first day playing, and I'm going to let you know I'm not an expert at this or mobile games, so I struggle a little bit, but I did see some other people doing them fairly quickly. You do get the Black Ops 3 specialist abilities, War Machine, Purifier. They have the Death Machine instead of the Scythe, but a lot of those type of specialist abilities, you only get them after like level 5, I think it is, which doesn't take too long to get. It does feel weird to purify people on Modern Warfare 1 Crossfire. It feels like this is the crossover episode that I always dreamed of, but all of those weapons are quite strong. The game features pretty standard Call of Duty options for movement: walk, sprint, slide, as in if you're sprinting and you hit the crouch button, you'll knee slide. You can regular crouch, you can prone, you can jump, and you can mantle climb on various objects, including ladders. So it's pretty much exactly how Call of Duty Ghosts was, minus a few features. There's no leaning like in COD Ghosts, none of that sort of stuff. There's no jetpacks, no wall running, no mounting machine guns to things. Really participate in them instead of just dying immediately. As far as I can tell, all weapons, attachments, perks, etc. are earned via your game level. There doesn't seem to be a way to buy new guns or better attachments yet. This is a beta after all, and it's pretty standard COD progression level kind of stuff. Every time you get enough experience to go up a level, you unlock a new gun, a new perk, a new grenade, something like that. And the weapons in the game are from all over Black Ops 1 and 2, and I think even some from World at War. Then you've got Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3 weapons, along with some weapons from COD Online, which is rare to see. And of the ones that they chose, there are slightly more Chinese weapons this time around. I wonder why. Tencent, developing in Beijing most likely. But a lot of Chinese guns, and it feels almost like a fantasy PC mod of older COD games. It feels like COD Online brought to America more than anything else. And it's kind of fun to see how all these guns from different games stack up against each other when normally you would never be able to see that. And there's loads of skins and camos and attachments and stuff like that for weapons. Attachments you have to unlock and grind for. Skins and camos and stuff are almost all paid. And you can get grenade skins, which is kind of like your grenade can have a skin, just whatever. Okay. Maps are all Modern Warfare 1 through Black Ops 2, along with Kill House from Call of Duty Online, which is kind of nice to see. And honestly, playing all of the classic maps is one of the best parts about the game. It feels really good to play a map on Crash and just do your Modern Warfare thing, and then swap over to Firing Range and do your Black Ops thing without changing games or missing a beat whatsoever. That is a really satisfying feeling, and all of the maps have been faithfully recreated with the same spots, the same tricks, the same stupid explosive barrels, the same dark corner McDougal noob corners, same nade spots too. So if you've played these classic maps, you won't have to relearn anything new. The only new map for most of us is going to be Kill House from COD Online, but that's a very small and simple one. As far as options for customizing your character, there are lots of them. You can customize your controls in a ton of crazy ways to ideally make it more comfortable to play, but you can't invert your aim stick. Ouch, that messes me up super bad. So when I play on console, I play inverted. So there's no inverted option for Call of Duty Mobile, so it's forcing me to relearn how to aim, and I have to play normal. I know that sounds like that's how you should be doing it, but for comparison, it would be like if I gave you a Call of Duty game and the only option for your aiming stick was inverted and you could never turn it off. That's kind of how I'm playing, so I'm very frustrated with it. But aside from that, there are lots of different firing modes. There's a lot of different move controls. You can put your, things that you click in slightly different positions. There's a bunch of vehicle control schemes for Battle Royale, which I'll get to in a later video. Sensitivity settings, gyroscope settings, screen safe area settings, tons and tons and tons of settings. And they put a lot of effort into these settings, apparently to try to make the game comfortable to play, because Call of Duty has always been a very comfortable, easy game to play, and I think that they want to stick with that and don't want to alienate any of the American console players. Overall, I had a lot of fun with Call of Duty Mobile. Probably the most fun that I've ever had on a mobile game. It's definitely right up there with PUBG Mobile and Fortnite Mobile. They did a bang-up job on it, though I will say I think it's actually a little bit better than PUBG Mobile because it feels a little bit more like the regular game. PUBG Mobile feels like its own game. Call of Duty Mobile feels more like a Call of Duty, but it's probably not as complete as Fortnite Mobile. Now, I personally do not like Fortnite Mobile as much because I'm super bad at it and the controls alienate me, but it's difficult to say that there's a better mobile game that's free to play, you can cross-play with PC, in the same game with all the same settings and nothing's changed. Like, Fortnite Mobile is really nice. And when I'm playing COD, I feel like I'm playing old school Call of Duty again, but maybe with like a Mad Catz controller or something. Controls aren't ideal, but with some time and practice, I can snipe, I can push with SMGs, I can hold head glitches with rifles, I can stack up streaks and be a nerd in camp, or if I want to, I can just pull out my knife and chase people around to take advantage of my own bad ping. But at the end of the day, I think that Call of Duty Mobile is going to be worth picking up when it does come out in the US. I think it's going to be a really, really good game.